Welcome everyone to episode 12 of the Hot Drop. We had Batulins join us for this one as EB didn't have time. He'll be back for the next one, don't worry. And we had a fantastic chat with him and Jimbo about the European scene, this last PEC Fall, PGC coming up, and a little bit about why Twisted Minds has been struggling to win internationals when they've been doing so well. So that was a really interesting conversation. And then we talked a little bit about the rosters in Europe, Navi, Exalt, everything that's going on. And yeah, really interesting insights. In part 2, we'll answer about 50 minutes of fan questions. So questions that we'll ask live in Twitch chat. So if you want to be there next time, make sure to follow that as well. I'll try and advertise it a little bit more. Sometimes I just have to rush these episodes out to get them in between events and between other content that I'm doing. So yeah. Big, long episode, lots of interesting topics. If you enjoy this kind of content, you can now become a member. So that's really nice on YouTube. You get yourself some perks, you get yourself some emotes, and you get to support the content without Twitch taking a massive cut, so that's nice. And yeah, no further wasting your time. Enjoy the episode. Boom! Yes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to, I think this is episode 12 of the Hot Drop. I really need to start memorizing these. Every time a Hot Drop starts, I'm like, this is the next episode? Yeah, episode 12 of the Hot Drop. We have a bit of a new guest. What's up, Sasha? How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks.
And yeah, Jeemzz woke up 30 minutes ago. Yeah, you're not wrong.
No. 1 hour 30. You haven't even made your bed.
I never make my bed. I should now that it's on camera. I don't really understand why people make their bed, to be honest, but yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chat a little bit. We're gonna talk about PEC. We're gonna talk a little about PGC and stuff. And at the end, we'll answer like live questions. How do you guys think? That's a good way to do it, no? So then we don't always have to interrupt. So if people have some questions, you can put them in chat or you can wait and then we'll answer them at the end. I think that's the best. That way we're not like constantly getting distracted by chat and stuff. Yeah, I was a little disappointed, Batu, that we didn't see 4 of Twisted Minds in a bathrobe for the interview. I thought that would have been a banger.
Yeah, possibly. One day is gonna happen. They don't have bathrobes, so that's a problem, I guess.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, I will just give them later.
Yeah.
Would Lou and Spyro wear bathrobes? I feel like Perfectix would.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know who won't. I guess feels like maybe all of them will. Maybe none of them will. So it's hard.
It's so funny, your team interview, because I was looking at Lou and Spyro, and there's like zero emotion in their face. They're just like,
yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Spyro was saying,
yeah.
Yeah. After this interview, we had a very hard argument. We were so angry after winning this tournament because we played not well in some situations. So yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting. I wanted to ask you anyways, like how that tournament felt for you guys, because it's a weird tournament, right? When you're already qualified to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you guys just played with zero pressure, and you guys just you tried everything and you got away with a lot of things, you know? That's how it felt from the outside, but I don't know how it felt for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the pressure, of course, we don't have any pressure. And but at the same time, since we don't have this pressure, not only because we qualify for PGC, but also because we won so many tournaments in Europe, that we don't have this kind of we just always know what's gonna be in this, like in Europe.
Yeah,
exactly, in Europe we know what to expect from Turkish teams. I mean, Jeemzz also knows what to expect from Turkish teams. We know what to expect from, let's say, QM or Footballists, since they are one of the best teams in our region who play Edge, for example. Yeah, so just Europe, never surprising. Usually never surprising. And PGC, you have these APEC teams who can basically just take a bike, 4 people come to you by foot, kill you somewhere in the middle and just go back. That's what
Yeah.
they like to do. So it's a little bit different, and you never know what to expect. So sometimes your game can be fucked up,
Yeah.
and when your game fucked up, you feel a little bit pressured. Like, what's going on? Why? What did I do something wrong, or like it's just the lobby is wrong, and you never know sometimes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
APEC teams are hard.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I think that's why I'm like really excited as well to see Foot at a LAN, because I don't know how well their playstyle is going to work against some of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like in Europe, they get away with a lot of stuff because they just kill bad teams. Like, there's not a lot of teams in Europe that can fight Foot esports, you know? Like, not a lot of teams that can win fights versus them. So a lot of times you'll see them on the edge. They just pull up on somebody and they just go kill them, and suddenly they have a good game. But that's going to be so much harder at PGC, where like there's still a few bad teams at PGC, but like so much less, and everybody can shoot a little bit more, I feel like. So I'm not sure how that's going to go.
I would say I have my own opinion about Footballists, for example, yeah, and since they are very, very good this year,
Yeah.
and their playstyle somehow makes them be basically very close to us, like in this PGC point system, right, in Europe. And I was thinking in my head, so my team and myself as Agile, we have such a structured system, which is, I understand why it's working. At the same time, I was analyzing Footballists, and they have nothing. Like system. I just checking each game, and I never know what they're gonna do, like what kind of rotation. And it's really hard to imagine like how many times they can possibly, like, let's say, just face some random team in PGC, like from each region, America or APEC or even Asia, and how many times they're gonna fight with someone in the first circle or the second circle, and never even leave until like fifth phase or like whatever. So it's hard to say, but at the same time, they have players who were like one game away from winning PGC in Korea. And what can I say? Like, I guess their playstyle working, and they know how to play it. That's all.
Yeah. People think I'm hating on them when I say they have no macro, but it's just kind of how they play. Like, they just don't play for zones that much. They just play for edge. They just play for kills, and if it works, it works. It's just going to be interesting to see.
It is interesting also because they always have a really slow start to the tournament and always a banger last day.
A lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah, I really wonder why that is, and if that's something they're like figuring out soon. Because if they could have more good days, they could have a lot of points.
I wonder as well, like in some sense, right? Like, we're used to it, having a team like Foot. We're always like, if we're playing somewhere where they probably want to play, we're looking behind us so much, and we're getting ready for somebody to pull up and look for a fight towards us on the edge. But other regions might just not have that. Like, they might not have teams like that, because a lot of edge teams, they try to avoid all the fights, right? They try to like rotate around, they try to find space. So maybe they catch people off a lot at PGC. Like, I don't know. Maybe that just really works.
Maybe.
Yep. Easily can be.
Would you say that? So you just said like you had some arguments because you feel like you didn't play a good tournament.
I would say we didn't play good the last day, and since I guess you can imagine, and even like Jimbo can imagine, we had so many global tournaments where we lost our like first place in the last day, because of different reasons. And of course, for me, it's like so important to be like as good as possible exactly on the last day, because this is our like it was a little bit weak, but. It's not even arguments. It's more like we're just always trying to make it ideal, like how to make this last day ideal for us. Never like do some wrong mistakes, like never be pussy. You know, like there is a very, very, very popular thing that when you are on top and there is a last day, you might try to play more passive because you don't want to lose. You are starting trying not to lose the tournament, and that was a problem. Riyadh wasn't like that, and the last game was You remember, yeah, right?
Yeah.
You even wanted me to ask about this game, I guess, and I will tell you. Like, you will ask me, I guess, later or now.
We can talk about it
So,
now. Wait, I'll switch the scene and I'll pull it up.
Sure.
Because I watched that game, and I was like, what are they doing? What is happening? But I mean, you kind of also just got like, I think you got a little unlucky. So it's the last game. Yeah.
I don't see our cameras on the side, by the way.
What do you see right now? You just see the.
I see the Twire and the cameras on the right, but there's no actual cameras.
Yeah, that's a problem. Wait, I'll fix that. Boom, 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 boom. There we go.
Hey.
Good.
Hey. All right. So it's this game where one thing, yeah. So if we take the scores, right, you were 1 point ahead, I think, before the last game. One point ahead of Sonics, and then, no, 1 point behind Sonics, and then QM was 9 points behind. So like you're still playing for first in the last game, and then I thought this was crazy. I don't know. I thought this was really ballsy what you do.
Go full screen.
Yeah. This split to me in the last game of the tournament was crazy. Because crazy shit is gonna happen in the last game, right? Like,
so here, so I will explain to you. So the logic of this move, right?
Yeah.
So the logic is first not to be a pussy, not to try to just stay as 4 people AFK and praying for this last game circle, and just mentally be ready for a big game.
Yeah.
Because another team, like for example, you remember the last game of Navi?
Yeah.
They should have died completely in 2 wildcard, but they had huge game. So maybe we would possibly even not win this PGC if we would kill QM in this garage building, then we somehow kill 17, for example, and go up like to the hill, and we still maybe not win. So we didn't want to play like this. We wanted to play big. But at the same time, we just made a macro mistake. We didn't make a split that can help each other. So we should have put a guy in the yellows, so there will be no one between us. But we didn't. So unlucky.
And it's so rare you make those mistakes. I feel like you guys you almost always have really good splits, right?
Yeah.
So it's really rare to see you guys do something like this, where it feels like this is a good spot, right? But you can't support each other, and it's really hard to group as well. So like if anybody goes in between you, it's really hard to group now, right? And then it's like, I don't know. I'm not even that big of a fan because it feels really hard to control this as 2 players. And you're not playing for the East ending, right? You're just playing for like Northwest and Southwest, I guess.
We will just make a rotation if there's East, but it would be not easy, but
It won't be easy. It just won't be easy to play together. So it was really like it's really rare to see these like these plays to come out of you guys. I feel like, because most of the stuff you guys do just makes like a ton of sense.
Really so I would say it also happening. So this mistake in macro, like this how we stay on the map, right? It's also happening because this pressure in the last games, it possibly makes the brain just work slower or something. I don't know. I don't have this specific explanation of how it works. But for sure, it works like that. Because I would never make this mistake, let's say, 4 games before this game, right? And that's what I was working on like during this time after PGS.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing you guys are missing, right? Like if you play a good last day, then you could have won PGC. You could have maybe won PGS too.
Yeah, many like this.
I think it's one of the hardest things on the last day, and especially the last few games that are like the most important, is to not think of the consequences. You're always thinking about, oh, maybe we're winning now, or maybe we don't, maybe we fuck it up, and then your brain is just not 100% in game, and you cannot keep you cannot reach like flow state in the last few games. So you're just making more mistakes.
Yeah. You're thinking about too much. Like you're thinking about the games too little, right? You're thinking about the tournament too much, and you're thinking about the game too little. This is also, I think this is kind of crazy, right? Like Tyloo just running up on you here.
This is typical.
This shit doesn't happen in Europe. This never happens in Europe, in my opinion. Like everybody respects you so much in Europe, right? then this is just these guys. They just want to go kill someone, so they just go at you and run at you and kill one and take that position away. And then suddenly your game is just.
What placement were Tylo before this game?
It did something that didn't really matter that much.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, bro.
Yeah.
Staying away from those teams.
It's also a problem about, let's say we're taking PGC, right?
Yeah.
So imagine when you are playing third day, like let's say we have 4 days in PGC, 20 games, for example. You're playing third day, and you never think that, you never worry about that Tylo, for example, would just go and fight your guys on these shacks. But on the last day of the tournament, on the last games of the tournament, you always think like, what if they will come and kill, and we will lose the tournament only because we did this like wide split, and it makes your brain like work.
It's so easy to be scared on the last day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you think about all the things that could happen. But it's also like, it's so hard, man. Because you don't want to just be thinking like, oh, what if they run at us? Oh, what if they run at us? You know, oh, what if someone, I don't know, just silent rolls down from style, but like random stuff that never happens, right? You don't want to be thinking about it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be scared, but then it actually happens, and then you're sitting there like, fuck. Because these guys, they need a big game, because if they get a big game, they can jump like 5 placements or something. So I guess that's why they do it, but it's so hard to
imagine. So if you will watch previous game on Everest, when we took this parachute on QM.
Was it the game before that, or was it?
Yeah, it was just before that. Just imagine how hard it was to decide to play for this thing, like to try like this, to play like this. Yeah. Like without loot, just go on this like on this hill to kill this QM. We knew that they're gonna be like very fast. So it's the last day is always very interesting.
This is also like, I think QM. People underestimate how hard this is for QM, because QM has to land here and instantly put like 2 or 3 guys on top, right? They have no loot, they have no time, and so they go up on top, and then if nobody comes, they sit up here. They don't have scopes, they don't have ammo, you know, they don't have shit, and they probably don't have a great game. But if they don't go and somebody comes, then they're dead, right? So like it's so hard for QM as well, in a way. And also, like, how many games out of 10 do you think you find an emergency pickup this quickly? Like maybe half, maybe 3 out of 10 or something?
Yeah, maximum half. Maximum.
You guys don't know the emergency pickup algorithm? Yeah, we have program. We see where they're spawning.
Okay. Like, and that's the thing. But QM has to be ready, right? They can't say, oh, it's just 50%, it's 40%. Like, they kind of have to be ready.
Yeah.
So it's really fucked for them in a way. But they should have still, I think, in this situation, if they're not ready, they can just leave, right? They can just they can just play down here and play a really good game.
Yeah.
They don't need this. But they just fucked up, I think. I think Aduzi said that Dante has to watch, and Dante is shooting FaZe Clan when you guys are dropping on.
Yeah, and also this is the same thing for QM. So this is the last day, 2 games before the tournament finish. Yeah. And you have to decide if you should take 0 loot and just stay 4 people on this. Because, for example, FaZe from Milta, how many times they tried just to pull up on this hill? Just 4 cars, for example, with fast timings. So you have to decide, is it worth it to just stay on this hill without loot? Or you should better just stay in Novorepna and these compounds and whatever. And you just don't know how to decide what to do.
Yeah. And
this hill has been so popular this year, bro.
Yeah.
This hill has been so popular. I have only played this hill 2 times since I joined FaZe. 2 times. It's crazy.
But when this year started, you guys had this hill a lot, and you fucked it up so much, right?
I wouldn't say fucked it up, but we had we did a win at least.
We've killed people like vaulting around here when we pull up from the south, or like I don't know what you did in the other game where maybe you just had one guy up there and we killed him or something. I don't know. Like we killed you like 2 or 3 times on this tower or around this tower.
Really?
Yeah.
I only remember the one game where we.
There was a game. Yeah. Okay, you go first.
Like we had a split between this and the South Hill, and we killed like someone in the dip, and we had like 14 kills, 6th place.
Yeah.
Or something. That's the only game I remember.
That's a game where we played on top, I think. right?
Okay.
And you played below us. But there was a game where we came from Prim and we just pulled up here and we knocked one on top, like halfway up the rocks or something. Like Gustav was like jumping around. And then you went for like a really risky res and you got knocked as well. So we just drove up and killed you or something.
I remember.
And that wasn't the only time. There was another time where we somehow like fucked you up on top, but I don't remember the second time.
Yeah, that is just stupid mistakes from us taking knocks.
By the way, Ko, do you imagine what did I say after we got the circle on us?
Where?
In this game, in this game, I said I was watching Praxco streams when they were when you were playing, and I remember I think it's third circle when we got this, right?
Yeah.
Show the third one.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying. So I remember Accent just easily farmed 20 kills. So it's easy tournament, guys. Right now, we do nothing. Just stay in AFK and kill everyone.
Yeah.
But no.
And then you look at this and it's like, there's nobody fucking here.
Yeah, amazing.
Also, like sometimes it felt very easy for us. But also I was wondering after like we got like 2 or 3 big games on that tower, right? And I was wondering, how have people been playing this dip for so long? Because you can always nade it. It's free nades. But people have been playing this dip for like 2 years or something.
Yep.
That was really weird to me.
There are more dips like this, not only around this area, which people shouldn't be allowed to play.
People just shouldn't be allowed to play them. Yeah.
People just don't know that you can like easily nade stuff.
Yeah. But I think you could have still won this game. I think you kind of messed up this fight here.
With Danawa. Yeah.
Like if you win that fight, then maybe you win the tournament.
Yeah.
Like if you manage to just kill this guy, or right, you don't kill him. If you manage to like go back a little bit, because now you're all just committing for this edge and you're like giving up all this space.
Yep.
If you win that fight, I think you win the tournament, right? Maybe, but
yeah, I think we would. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah,
but next time.
Next time. We have the same thing, I think, to a certain extent, where we've had a lot of bad days in tournaments. And it's really annoying. I also think this was so crazy. Like Forest Gaming just like winning the last game and like Sonics trolled like a 3v4 against them or something because Sonics was already the champions. And they made like, I don't know, they made like 150k or something just off this game, just because they won this game. It's so crazy what happens in PUBG, right? Because the prize pool just scales so hard. Wait, let me look it up. Where is it? Fuck. Because they got 5th place. They were like in 10th place or something, and they got into 5th just because of that last game. It's just $50k. And then you're just like QM is like 3 points behind or something. 40k gone. It's kind of crazy how much like one game of PUBG can do in a tournament like that, right?
Yep.
Kind of wild. I'm still mad at this, by the way. You know, PGS 1, we got 35k. And then you guys win the losers bracket. You get 10k, 10k, 40k for winning losers bracket.
I really do not like this system that they had for them.
That's so crazy. Like giving money to losers bracket as well. It's just so crazy.
I was talking to Tigodan about it. Like they played in the high bracket.
Yeah.
But they earned the same amount of money as us.
Yeah.
From loser bracket.
Yeah. Which just doesn't make sense. But no, but not even, because they didn't even get unstoppable team for the winner bracket, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that unstoppable.
Cerberus was more unstoppable in the winners bracket. Yeah. Cerberus as well, 40k for winners bracket. But yeah.
And isn't 40k like the equivalent of like, what was it? I checked it earlier, like 7th place or something?
Yeah, it's 14th place, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
It's still a lot of money.
It's a fuck ton of money. That's more than we won.
Yeah. And I mean, this is also fucking insane. Most creative fans, 50k. Best team content, 50k.
We also got that. We got second place in the team content thing. We didn't do shit.
Yeah.
I think it's literally just like face posting like on their social medias.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see any crazy content. I didn't see most creative fans at all.
There
It's
was
just-
two
I think-
fans of Sonics on Arena. I don't know why they. Yeah.
I'm just so upset about this. Like, I don't know. We just got so unlucky, I guess. Like, it's just
Got PUBG'd.
yeah, we got PUBG'd.
Really PUBG'd.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. For us, this PEC felt really weird. Because I felt like there was just so many teams who had a lot of confidence because they were already through, and then there was a lot of teams who like played really scared and let these teams do everything. Like, there was a few games. I have one example I think I can show you guys where just people are getting away with these crazy splits. There's an Erangel game. Twisted probably won it. The game where you were at the Wizard Tower, Batu. I don't know if that was upper bracket or if that must have been the finals.
Day 2.
Day
game.
2, match 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna share it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're coming in from the northwest side. Keely gets knocked because his car just fucks up. I don't know why we have that so much, but like that just happens to us all the time. Circle's really bad, and like we have to make ascend and stuff. But then I go look at the Twire and I'm like, how is this split working?
Yeah.
How is WLA 4 guys in farm, right? This is WLA. This
They
is
tried to
Pod.
drive up on me, by the way,
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. They drive to you. No, they drive to you. Do they drive
Earlier,
now? Yeah. They drive
earlier.
to you, and now they're like, oh no, this is too scary. There's one guy here. This is too scary. We can't go here. That's like, what? And then they go back down, and like this compound, right? You see the top floor, kind of. You see this. You can kind of like check if there's people playing there. Pod can see the whole compound. They can check if people are playing there. And Gustav is just chilling there, and nobody does anything.
Mhm.
And nobody does anything to the Wizard Tower. And QM, for example, as well, right? They're just like, they're happy with this. They're not going anywhere. They're not even checking around the south. They're not like getting for any more central spots. Nothing is happening. Navi don't want any of this space either. Like, Navi is just, in this game, Navi is 4-man hiding, by the way. They're like not peeking. They're waiting for someone to drive into them from the top. And then you can just like do whatever the fuck you want in the center. And TWIS as well, you guys are just kind of like playing a lot of space. You're shooting at everyone. You're bullying everyone away. And nobody is like pressuring anything. Nobody's contesting everything. It feels so strange.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like teams in the center got away with a lot of stuff this game. Like, even here, it's just like no contest. And then later on, I'll just let this play out, right? Navi is coming in from a pretty nice edge, but they're just like, they don't want to do anything. They're so scared. Like, they just want to try and do the little, like the least they can and just sit. And then this circle even, they don't go and take any space. They don't go and hold out Howl. They don't go and fight TWIS. They go down into this dip to kill QM and die instantly.
This is basically the worst move I have ever seen from Navi, because it was
so
like,
bad.
no matter if you would easily wipe QM, you will still die from us,
Yeah.
because you just give
In
up
the
these
low
high grounds.
Yeah, you're giving
so
up
no
everything.
chance.
And like the logic as well, where there's like, they see you here and they're like, oh, this is a scary team. We don't want to fight them, I guess. But then you go down here, they're gonna kill you for free. Like, you're not making the situation any better. You're just kind of making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Their only option, I think, is to like rotate east of TWIS and fight.
Yeah,
Like
they
fight TWIS here.
they could also play like really slow on this edge here. And there's like some trees and some rocks, right? You can like slowly play in. You can kill Howl. You can play Howl's game pretty much, I think.
I guess you make these decisions under pressure. So it's
Yeah.
like, if you would have, like, for example, us, like, imagine us in the same situation as Navi.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck if
Yeah.
we lose like this game or not. We're just
Yeah.
gonna fight. We're just gonna try to make this game look big for us.
Yeah.
If not, then not. Like, if
Yeah.
we're unlucky with many, like, how will go to us, just stay AFK and from like, yeah, and so what happened? But here, under pressure, they need points, and they trying to find this I don't know, maybe a better decision in this 1 second they think about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe we kill, maybe Twisted Minds will go out to this Harry Potter building, right? And somehow they will try to play this edge, they will kill you, play from this low ground somehow. Maybe
Yeah.
in their heads it's gonna be better decision than any other decisions.
I think they get to this spot and they're like, oh, we can't push this team. Like, let's just try and get some kills or something, right? I think they're like desperate at this point to go down here. And we are so confused that Navi is doing this. And we were like, I think you guys also forgot about us a little bit. Like, Perfectix kills Chris here, right?
Yeah, we a little bit forgot.
And then we run up below you. And Mika even throws like a few nades at you here. But then Spyro is like running through the open and Mika just kills him for free. Because you guys, I think you kind of forgot a little bit or something. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we even forgot that there is such a deep low ground that you can easily play.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we lost Spyro here, yeah.
Yeah. But you still won because you have all the circle and everybody else is just killing each other.
Yeah.
It's just nice. I don't know. It's nice, like, I feel like FaZe and TWIS, I don't know how you feel about that, Jimbo. You got a lot of good circles, but I feel like you also just played very confident.
No good circles this tournament. Very hard tournament.
Very hard, very hard.
Bro, I've never been so blessed in my life.
Yeah. You even tweeted about the E pickup into South George?
That is our only non-gifted game, I think. It's just like smart E pickup. That is our only win that is like not gifted, I think.
Yeah, George Paul is a good one, by the way. Interesting.
That is DA won that game, no? No, did you win in the end?
No.
You won in the end, right? Is it this game? Is this?
Yeah, should be day.
Oh no, it's the first game, right? It's the first
game of day 2, I think.
Oh yeah, first
game.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't think the E pickup is that bad, but I would try an E pickup into this zone when it pops, right?
We already decide already to only use the E pickup if zone goes north here. We were gonna play normal if it goes to Southside River.
Yeah.
Because he can still go.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is kind of good, but I also think, So you're going into South George here.
Into North George, yeah.
Into North George, yeah.
What would you do if the circle will go up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sarki was our plan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you would even find some cars there more. Maybe.
Yeah, that was the plan.
I mean, if the zone goes northeast, you're kind of like fucked a little bit, but every other zone is pretty good for you. Yeah, I agree. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
makes
doable.
sense.
It's not, but like our game was already fucked from beginning. Just look, we didn't find any cars this game.
Yeah, you just got.
We run to Milta for 5 minutes.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. First time we do this stretch and not find any cars.
Yeah.
At all.
That's unlucky. We were upset this game. We were upset that like Entropic let TWIS just through like that. I feel like your play here was mega risky, Batu.
Yeah, this game
pulling up on the
was
wizard tower
weird.
was not a good play.
Yeah, we were kind of lost in this game.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning. Just after
and
knock,
now suddenly
like...
you have a free game, right? Now suddenly you're laughing.
Yeah.
This is mega nice. But like here, like the fact that they even knock you and nothing happens, like I don't know why these guys don't just go and kill someone.
Who is it that knocked them?
Entropic.
Okay.
Entropic knock one and then they run away.
Do you think... understand? Yeah, go on.
Do you think when people knock you like this, they're scared to fight you and they run away because of it? Just because you are the best team in you?
Here, I would honestly say, I was like 99% sure that we're gonna lose Spyro here. Like in PGC, if you would say, like, for example, CES will come and knock you like this, they will try to kill 4 people, not 1. It's just impossible to expect different.
Yeah.
So we were even trying to play like we're playing PGC. We were like, okay, maybe somehow we're gonna save him, but this is very small chance that we're gonna save him. And until the moment I rest him, I was like, are you sure they're not gonna come from like low ground, whatever? Maybe they already set up.
They can even come. They can come from here. Like they can try and play for the high ground, right? They can fuck you up from so many different angles. Like,
yeah. And also, I would also add one thing about being not under pressure. So when we were sitting in this compound, usually most of games we played smart. In this game, we kind of played not smart enough, so we like managed to get in this kind of weird situation where we could possibly. And then when you have no pressure, you don't care too much what circle will be. So we didn't think too much if it's gonna go down. If it's gonna go down, we will just find our way to play this game. We don't hurry up and so on. And when you're under pressure, you always like worry about what if this circle goes up? How I gonna rotate there? What if all the bridge is gonna be camped? What if there's no parachute? All these thoughts make you make more mistakes during the game. And that's how it's going. Like
yeah, sure. I think it's the opposite for these guys, for example. Like, I think when you see a team pull up at the wizard and they get knocked from the top, you can always get 1 or 2 free kills. Like, you are not going to be looking at them ever. And you're not going to expect 2 guys just like without a car just running out and like killing 1 or 2 people, right? Like, like Lou and Spyro could easily die to babies here. But they're too scared. They're the opposite of you. They don't want to make a mistake. They're like, oh, twist, oh, be careful. You know, they look for an angle. They don't find anything. They even play inside the building. Like, they're just really like scared. And it's the complete opposite of what you guys are doing.
You saw, we thought it's a free compound. Perfectus was about to take it. And somehow he survived.
And then they shoot at him and they don't let him drive in. They shoot at him like here. Yeah.
That's crazy.
A lot of pressure on these guys, I think. Yeah. And then we are like, we saw that Entropic was like playing both of this, and we're like, okay, we can easily pre-drive just around them. And then we get 2 knocks. So we're like, okay, we can just go kill them. But as instantly the woo, and then GG, our game's over. Unfortunate. Yeah, and then we were like, we watched the replay and we were like, how the fuck is TWIS in here? Like, how the fuck do they just go through Entropic, no problem? Just get sent to the circle.
Our favorite compound when we used to play from Sharky, but not from school, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mega compound. It's super good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It felt like a really weird tournament for us. That's for sure. It felt like there's so much of that going on. I've never felt it before. I think it's a little bit because there was 4 tournaments this year. So the last tournament used to matter a lot more because there was only 3. So like this year there was so many teams already qualified and so many teams that couldn't qualify anymore. So like the tournament felt really different. I have no idea what they're gonna do next year, but maybe if we get the same format, then I hope we only get 3 tournaments with PGC points.
I can't even imagine how the next year gonna look like. I mean, I have some, I guess, I don't know how I can talk about it.
We have inside information.
Yeah, we have inside information, but at the same time, we don't have any information. So we just need to wait and see what they're gonna show us. And I don't know when they're gonna show us. Usually it's like 1 day before next tournament starts. So you're just waiting.
I've heard so many weird rumors, but completely different rumors. Like I've heard rumors about TPP. I've heard rumors about like way more global partners. I've heard rumors about like a franchise league, so like only global partners or something. And then I've talked to a PUBG employee, and he basically said nothing is decided until next year. So
yeah,
I would say you can only trust this last guy because it's not decided yet.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're just waiting.
But that's also very scary. Like if they haven't even decided yet, like you have no idea what they're gonna do because they don't know what they're gonna do.
That is scary.
Scary thoughts.
I mean,
this is really reality of PUBG. So always in this waiting mode. What's gonna happen?
I talked about this a few times as well. It's like at this end of the year after PGC, everybody's like, "Oh, PUBG's over. PUBG's done." And we know nothing about next year. They're gonna fuck up the format, and then the tournament starts, and everybody gets a little happy again, and then everybody gets hyped for PGC, and then after PGC, it's the same thing again. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What happens if you win PGC, Sasha?
Okay. What happens if I win PGC?
You said something about retiring or something, but I think that was just a joke, right?
No, not about retirement, but more like I just don't know what to do after winning. Like because I said that winning PGC for us, it's a little bit different. Like, let's imagine we would become a team like a year ago, yeah? And this is going to be our first year, and we luckily win PGC in this roster. Yeah, and then you think, well, maybe I want to win another PGC to prove myself that like was not a mistake, not just luck. Yeah. And for us, like we 4 years together, and it feels like every year we're like so close to PGC winning. Yeah. And after winning it, I don't know, but
it's the one goal, right? It's the one thing you're missing.
Basically, we won everything.
Yeah.
We like just this PGC, and I don't know what to expect. I don't know nothing, just nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just waiting.
Gonna be interesting.
It's really interesting, and it's really hard when you lose this PGC in the last game.
Yeah.
We lost Riyadh in the last game, which is basically the same prize pool. So it also feels like, of course, it's not like PGC, it's a little bit different, but
it feels still just as bad, kind of, Yeah,
like, for example, Malaysia, if we would lose Malaysia in the last game, it wouldn't feel like that, like PGS in Riyadh or like PGC. Of course, prize pool matters, and for everyone, it's like, even for viewers always understand. Like when they're watching international in Dota and they have 40 million prize pool, they're thinking, whoa, winning international means like you are the god of Dota. Yeah. And for example, this international with 3 millions, they like, of course, it's still a lot, but not for Dota viewers. Yeah. And they already feel like, winning this international is nice, of course, but it's kind of not the same as previous. So yeah. We'll see. This year is very interesting, and I think many good teams. I think APEC region became better.
Mm-hmm.
Before, for me, APEC was something like just random stuff. Random teams come, individual plays, which are, of course, like all of us know that Asian players and all these region players always like cracked individually. Yeah. But as a team, you never expect anything from them. Just one lucky team somehow. Now, I feel a little bit more like I'm preparing myself for these teams nowadays. So, like, really only region is Americas. Feels very, very weak.
Yeah.
No, joke. Of course, they have good teams, like, as always. But
it's still the weakest region overall, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to say anything bad about any region. It's like, feels like not like wrong to say anything bad. Maybe Sonics won PGS right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Luminosity with Mime will win. Will try to win this PGC. Who knows?
Yeah. I think people also get really upset when you say that. But like, you can say that Americas is the weakest region. That doesn't mean that they're not going to win PGS or PGC. Like, it's just overall, when you look at like the 5 teams that they're sending, I think they're probably the weakest region. But then Europe as well feels really weird right now. Like, Howl and Exalt don't look good at all. And they're still going to PGC.
Do you know the roster of Exalt?
No.
Okay. Me too.
That was funny because at the last day, I talked to Molodoct on the last day. I was like, you got this. Like, 14th could maybe be enough for you guys. And then after the tournament, he messaged me and he said 16th was enough. And I said, oh, and like, who are you going to PGC with? And he said, I don't know. I was like, holy shit. It's a weird situation.
Yeah. Well, of course, I know who is going for Exalt, but this roster is very interesting. I don't know what to expect from this roster, but it's much more interesting than what we saw in this PEC. And so we will see. We will see. I don't know when the news will come out.
I think what people know is that Quizzy is going with them. That's not public, but it's kind of public in ProHub. But I
basically as public as it can get.
Yeah.
But he said he's not going as a player. He said he's going as coach.
So, oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about
I had more insider information than you.
Okay.
I talked to him about it, and I was like, "Do you go as a player?" And he said, "No, he's going as a coach."
Okay.
But yeah, that'd be interesting. I think a lot of EU rosters are really interesting right now. Like, I don't know what's happening with Navi. I don't really know what happened to Howl this tournament. Because they looked like terrible in some of the games. I already talked about some of their games on stream and stuff.
Navi is such an interesting roster change too, because before Navi had Uba, like when they were playing with Quizzy, I didn't even think of Navi as like good team in EU. They were like pretty average, like before they had Uba. Then the year that they pick up Uba, I feel like they become like they go like a whole new tier, kind of a new level of Navi. And now they like decide to get rid of Uba, and they have lots of work, I think. And
yeah, it's the weirdest thing for me. I don't know. Like it's the same with the Sonics roster change. They're really hard to understand from the outside, I feel like. Like, but you think they must have good reasons, right? You don't just kick someone after
it's
winning
always
PGC.
It's pretty much like always though. When someone gets kicked off team, it's like either he's bad or worse than he used to be, or there's like something in the team within two players that don't get along. It's like very often these same things. A lot of roster changes. And like, I mean, we heard Uba being like not the nicest guy to play with before, so we pretty much everybody know why he's not on Navi anymore.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Navi is very interesting to see because if Navi will continue making, I don't know how to call this word, but basically, so they're changing players to Ukrainian ones, right? Like they do in other
esports, yeah.
like CS:GO, for example, yeah. And I was thinking, what is the potential of the Ukrainian roster, like fully Ukrainian roster, in PUBG? And it feels like if we're not taking Spire and Perfectis, of course, like they are very experienced, they're basically in my team and so on. But if we're talking about other players, how do you think, how big is the potential of having Ukrainian players who are mostly don't have any experience in like global tournaments and so on? Is it like, so Navi, we have to know that Navi is the biggest organization from our region, right? And it's basically the oldest one in PUBG with FaZe Clan in Europe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so we see the FaZe is having like Jeemzz, who else? Gustav, Fax, like some very experienced players and some just of the top fraggers together, which is looking like a top roster for Europe. But if now we will take these new like 18 years old Ukrainians, what is the potential of these rosters now? I don't know. It's hard to answer on this question for me.
I think they would need like one really experienced good IGL or something, and then they need time. And then you can take a lot of these young fraggers, you could take like a Saucid or a Diffix, and you can like teach them. But the structure to put them in isn't really there, right? Like I think they are missing that like you said, that experienced core that could really bring them to the next level. So really hard to say. And you're giving up so much as well. I feel like that core of Navi, like, is still like Jeemzz said, then he never thought of them as a top roster, but they're still a team that will like kind of always go to PGC. I feel like if they're in a solid roster and they feel good together and they grind together, right? Like Alia example, Melman, I think they're still good enough to go to PGC. I don't know if they're world champion team, but what I'm saying is they would give up a pretty solid roster for one that could be really bad if it doesn't work out, right? So, yeah, it's risky.
So what do you expect from Navi in next season? Just in your opinion, like what do you expect to see?
No clue. Like I don't know if they're gonna stick together. I thought when Navi didn't make it and Exalt made it, I thought the smartest thing is if they can get Ferris back and play with their normal Exalt roster, you know? But I don't know if Navi would even allow that. I don't know if PUBG would allow that. There used to be a rule, right, that you can't take people from finals and stuff. So I have no idea. I also just don't know enough about the CIS scene. I feel like who's actually good at what, because I only see these players from the outside, right? Like you see a Molodoct and he's a really good fragger sometimes, but you don't really know who's like really good in the team, who's a good support player, who has really good comms, who has really good mindset. I just don't know that at all in that scene. So
yeah, I would say CIS region has many good players, But at the same time, I mean, individually and maybe even they can learn how to communicate very good and give a lot of ideas. But at the same time, you always know that all of them are unexperienced.
Yeah.
So you always know that you have to have this giga experienced IGL, maybe even 2 players who have a lot of experience, and they will teach these players, and it will take some time. And also the problem of these young players that you never know what to expect from them, because maybe their mentality can be weird. I think you understand what I'm talking about. So all the young players, you never know what to expect from them, and hard to say. And also I feel like Navi, so for example, we take young players to Navi, it means that these players have to perform good. Otherwise, like Navi is like basically you have a partnership. Like you have to be a very good team. And if they won't show this good performance, how this pressure will play like on them? Like how is gonna look like? I don't know. So very hard right now. Very hard.
It's also the partnership. I think is an interesting topic because the global partner also means that they need to have a good roster for next season, and they PUBG probably even wants to know like what their plans are with PUBG and stuff for them to keep their global partner slot. And then some people are saying, oh, like should they lose their global partner slot because PUBG said they would always adjust the teams, but I don't really believe it. I don't think they're gonna ever take that away from Navi, at least not like this year. But it, like you said, it puts extra pressure on the players and it puts extra pressure on the org, like you said, right? To have a worse roster that actually works.
I would say for Navi as a roster, like we can imagine like a roster of Navi in next year, and I feel like if they wouldn't have partnership, it would be easier for them. Because they wouldn't have this pressure on the players, and maybe they can make this fully Ukrainian roster. Or maybe Melman is IGL since he's not Russian, and Ukrainian players. And together with the coach Alrain, he's pretty hardworking person, right? And they can build like this fully new roster. Maybe we will know some new talents. So like very young players who are playing very good. But with partnership, feels like it's going to be harder to make this roster, and but we'll see.
In some way it's harder, in some way it's easier, right? Because they can also pick whoever they want when they're Navi, right? They can pick a lot of players. Like they can just pick Fairest and he will come because obviously you're coming to Navi if you're playing on Exalt. So they have a lot of choices, and they have a lot of, as a global partner, you also have a lot of chances to give people experience, right? You're going to PGS every single time. They can go to LAN, like you get a lot of stuff for free. So
of course,
it's a weird like two-sided thing where you get a lot of stuff, but you also get some pressure on top. And I think Jimbo, you said that Navi in the past has actually like the org has been kicking players and stuff. So
I heard a rumor that sometimes it hasn't always been the players on the team making all the decisions. I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I feel like there has been a lot of roster changes within Navi before, so I'm not sure exactly who's in control and how much like the staff actually impact that stuff. Because there are like people do this stuff very differently. Some orgs kind of run their teams, and some orgs give the trust to the teams and let the teams run the show. So it's very hard to like know who actually makes the calls.
Besto just says, "I know," in chat. That was a story, right?
I was in Navi too, so I guess I know. I feel like, so it's not a secret right now since a long time already. So before their previous manager, Larix, she was in charge of roster changes very much. It's not like she was completely deciding who is playing, who is not. Especially when PEC was IGL, they're kind of like deciding together because PEC has a lot of, how do you say it, authority, or like what is this word? So I don't know how it works right now, but I guess of course Alrain has his very like big power in this team. Also because he's like a Ukrainian coach, so I think they talk like basically he's deciding a lot. I don't know completely because I'm not in the roster and I can only guess how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think Uba was possibly maybe he was kicked by Alrain, maybe together with the team, of course, but also I just don't know. So it's just guess.
It's all speculations.
Yeah, sure.
It just
You should,
yeah.
Interesting thing about Uba is like I'm just gonna say something Gustav said. Hopefully he doesn't mind that I share this. Like he said that like Uba is not like basically the friendliest guy to play with, but also with him being like that, also pushes the team a lot with the way he is to work harder. So
that's for sure. I think so too.
I'm not sure if the progress that Navi made when they pick up Uba is only because of Uba. I think it's more like the whole team. It's not like Uba made the team great when he joined. It's probably everybody put in work.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Uba gets kicked from the team for similar reasons as he got kicked from FaZe.
Yeah.
I would really think so.
For like motivation issues and stuff, right?
Yeah, and not being the friendliest guy, and then people can't handle the not friendliest guy, and
you start getting bigger issues and bigger issues, especially when I feel like that's not a problem when stuff goes well, right? Because then the team is working. But when stuff doesn't work and then you don't like each other, that's when stuff starts to break.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's I don't know, like Batulins haven't made roster change in like what, 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years after this PGC.
Yeah, like I learned this year joining FaZe how hard it is to rebuild. Even if you are a new team, if you change one player, like so much stuff needs to be rebuilt. And in this game, now that we got 2 new maps, even more.
You don't have the time to rebuild. You're trying to learn the maps and everything.
It's I think if you have 4 players on a team that are like super dedicated to putting in like all the time in the world, you can make the progress fast. But people have girlfriends, families, other hobbies, everyone has something in their life. So getting 4 people on the same team where people will just literally do nothing else in PUBG is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly like this.
And especially you say that and you're on FaZe Clan, a global partner team. Now think about other teams. They might make half your salary. They might make a third of your salary. Like Keely is working full time next to playing PUBG because like, yes, we get a salary and yes, we're getting treated very well by Ascend, but it's just, you don't have that, like it doesn't pay like a full-time job if you're not really successful. So
it's a little bit case by case dependent.
Yeah. Depends on your living situation, depends on everything, right? Where you live, your cost of living, all that kind of stuff. But
honestly talking, I was talking a lot about like other games with other players from different disciplines like Dota or CS, and they have the same problem. Like even in top teams, we're not talking that people in top CS:GO teams have full-time work, but we are talking that they have they spend their time not only on the game. Even like very good teams. And so of course it's very, I don't know, even like, is it about luck to get all these players who dedicated to the game, or it's about teamwork and you're working on each like personality, on how much he has to be dedicated? It's hard to say.
It's really hard.
It's also like you can't force it, right? If you have someone on the team that just plays less and they like, because PUBG is not an easy game to grind, right? Like PUBG ranked can feel super boring. Scrims can feel like shit a lot of the time. So PUBG is not an easy game to be the most dedicated in. And then if you have someone that doesn't like it, you can't really force it. That's just gonna make things worse, I feel like. So you have to find those players. But like you said, right? Then you look at some teams and maybe you can, but if you're looking at, for example, national teams, like non-English speaking teams, in any other language that's not Russian, the player pool is so small. Like, what does Entropic do, right? They look forever and then they just go for Mexi. They go switch to English because they just can't find a Balkan player that they're happy with. What would Ascend do if one of our players, we wanted to kick him or he wanted to quit? Like who do we pick? Nobody. we have to go English, and that's a big change. So you have to be really lucky in some sense to find a team that fits together and works together and has a chance. Like, you need the potential, you need like people that want to stick together, you need the mindset. Like, there's so much that you have to find. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Not of them.
PUBG is hard. They had Nixie, but it's not their call. Yeah. Did Mixie want to play on the Woo over Entropic? You guys know? EB might know.
I think they offered Nixie a spot, right, on Entropic, but he went to Woo instead. He said no, I think.
That's weird.
I'm pretty sure he did.
That was part 1 of episode 12. Hope you guys enjoyed. Part 2 will be coming out shortly. I'm trying to split these up to make them a little bit more digestible and also make them easier to work around for me. If you enjoy this kind of content, you can now become a member on YouTube, or you can just use the creator code in PUBG. That's absolutely free. Thank you for watching so far, and I'll see you guys in part 2.